All right, we're at the Hawaii Wellness Expo. My company is Light Sky Farms. I'm Shannon Walters. I've been at this adventure for 45 years in the cannabis industry. Once medical cannabis became legal in Michigan, I created this brand, Light Sky Farms, and I was helping people. And my presentation today is about not getting high. It's about fucking helping people, right? So we're gonna go through this slideshow, and I'm gonna start with Terry's story. And Terry and his family have generously said, hey, we want to give people inspiration and hope. They're in a terminal illness. And I'm an emotional guy, so if I break down crying during this, it's because it's a meaningful journey, right? So Terry's story, we're going to start with, Terry is a sommelier, a master of sword, a novelist, a writer, an Ayurvedic healer. Him and his wife spent like a year and a half in the jungle to become certified in the most traditional medicine on the planet. And Terry called me one day. We didn't know each other personally. He just knew that I was a good winemaker, great winemaker, we'll say. And he says, can you help me? And I'm like, okay, I'll come down and see you. And I come down and see him, and he shows me this thing. Terminal lymphoma on the side of his head, right? The thing smells bad, looks bad, and is terrifying if anybody has ever had to deal with anything of this caliber, right? So I say, hey, Terry, I'm not a doctor, but I'm a passionate motherfucker. So this series of pictures is the culmination of his effort and my effort to knock this lymphoma out. So I'm just going to go through these pictures really quickly. This is picture one. I can't even look at it, right? So picture two. This is the regression of his lymphoma. Did you see that?
I just arrived.
Back up one. This is my friend Terry with lymphoma on the side of his head. They said, go home and die. He called me. I'm a winemaker, an agriculture guy, a heartfelt person. Next pic. This is the regression of his lymphoma through heart work, body, mind work, and a multi-cannabinoid assault on this invasive species in his body, right? Getting his cannabinoid system to fucking kick this thing's ass. So next pic. This is a 5-month journey. Next pic. And this is the regression. Next pic. Yep. Go ahead. So at this point, the lymphoma is basically dissolved. He called it a demon. He called what I was helping him with the assassin, because we fucking were killing the disease, right? This terrible thing that is a very emotional journey, right? So next. So I made him a bunch of distillates that were, so I was a winemaker and an alcohol maker, and I knew how to carry terpene profiles and plant energy through to the final project, right? Final outcome. So I was creating strains with cannabis. I was combining all these things with the entourage effect, and he was willing to go full tilt on, working up to 1,000 milligrams a day, which is what it kind of takes to fight off a a monster like that thing you just saw. So I'm emotional, excuse me, but you know, these things were all intentional. I was making strains to create, you know, CBD, CBG, CBN, and then extract those things so that he could get the full impact quickly, efficiently, with heartfelt direction. Next. So this is one of them, Bliss Cookie, multi-award-winning strain in the High Times Cannabis Cup that I did to try to bring my brand to the table as a real healing, helpful, badass, you know, Terry called it the assassin. This is the assassin. So next. That's some of the extracts that I made that he was ingesting orally. Next. So this is Terry. This is his wife. That's me at a High Times Cup. And he was cancer-free at that point. 0 cancer. Next. This is next year where Terry's dead. He's in this, his ashes are in this ball, right? Next. Well, that's his wife. She's a Ayurvedic healer as well, and she's what led me to the next portion of my. They all did. We worked on this together. Like the next portion of Ayurvedic healing, herbs, medicines, you know, earthbound compounds, was what I brought to the show today. We'll get to that. So next, I made 3 strains for Terry to help his disease. And the reason I did this shit for High Times and to try to go out there and get it out there was because it's a marketing thing to help people, like, the shit's real, the shit's good, you know, like, also, if you're not a rich person, how are you going to get into the game, right? So, and that was like my main goal, really, and all the trophies and shit that I have for that were based around CBD, health medicine, and the rest of it. So next. So that leads me to the Ayurvedic herbal supplements, and so both of the Terry and his wife are certified Ayurvedic healers. Some of the first in the country. They spent a year and a half in the fucking jungle with shamans, and they will back up the formulations of these tablets and whatnot that I'm trying to. What I want to do is be able to, if you have pancreatic problems, or you have, you know, thyroid problems, or you can't sleep, or you have inflammation problems, or you can't get a hard on, or whatever your deal is, right? What would be great is to be able to just be like, hey, I got an Ayurvedic healer. She's gonna look at your problem, because she's alive now and he's dead, right? Oh, I didn't say why he died. Go back. Sorry, I'm a little nervous and whatnot. So why Terry died, cancer-free, was because that huge fucking thing on the side of his head. Well, he had a lot of like really thin skin there, right? And he nicked himself shaving. And he went to the doctor, which his wife was fucking pissed about, because they don't go to doctors. And they give him what is it? Antibiotic built for a horse, and it shut down his kidney and livers, and he died from organ failure. And she presented his katana, because he was a master of sword, to me in the parking lot that day. And like, you know, sometimes he throws his katana off the wall because he's pissed that I'm not doing it right? Like, spiritual shit. So, he died cancer-free from malpractice after that fucking fight, right? I wish there was, this house was packed, because I feel like this is meaningful and what this fucking fight's about, right? So, click. Enough of that. So we were on a journey about herbal supplements and how we can like go, how can we incorporate cannabinoids into healing herbs in the oldest medicine on the planet. And she, in this journey, his wife will solidify all the, you know, you got a pancreas problem, you got whatever the thing is. Like I'll be like, Tammy, and then I can roll out the cannabinoids, right? Because that's what I know. And I didn't even introduce myself probably, but I've been doing this. I'm 52. I've been doing this since 6th grade, and I'm a believer in these. So Ayurvedic herbal supplements, and they kind of look like tablets that you might get at the drugstore, or ecstasy or some other bullshit, right? Next. So back at that time, and I didn't bring THC infused stuff to Hawaii because it's not allowed. But this is a few years ago, some tests we were doing with Ayurvedic tablets. Next. Different tablets, different programs, like whatever your deal is. Next. Oh, I saw the Grateful Dead like 65 times before Jerry died, so, you know. Next. The FBI made me give him my social security number for the tablet press, you know, because you just can't make tablets in this country. Next. And back in those days, we were basically giving these away, trying to launch this idea of Ayurvedic herbs combined with cannabinoids, you know, and the entourage effect, where you've got 3, 5, 6, however many cannabinoids involved with all these herbs and spices and mushrooms and anything earthbound that an Ayurvedic healer would allow me to put the stamp on. Next. So when I'm making the stuff that I brought to the table today, this is what it looks like, right? It's Blue Lotus, and I think that one's Manifest. Turmeric, I mean, on and on and on. Next. Just an example of what the mixing pot looks like, right? Next. So what I brought today doesn't have a bunch of any THC in it, or at least 0.0, you know, which I think the lab got it wrong because these are isolates that I used and there's nothing in there. But this one is a kind of the base batch for the supplement that I was trying to do, with 12 milligrams total with all the cannabinoids. Next. And they're, you know, they don't taste good, but they're healing in a way that I think is meaningful. Next. This is Hawaiian Medical. I literally got invited here 2 weeks ago, so I threw a bunch of stuff together, and like, here's just like one, you know, blueberry, shanaberry, cherry, rhodelia, chaga, wheatgrass, bee pollen, blue lotus, hemp protein, maca, and then isolates, which I brought, which TSA searched my bag and was like, what do you got here? Right? Looks like dope, right? But it's the good stuff. Next. And everything I brought is lab tested in a hurry because the labs are friendly with me and will push my stuff through. And the point is if somebody needs something a lot higher dose or whatever, but these are kind of maintenance things you could throw in your smoothie or something. This one, back, the anti-inflammatory one, you know, and it works because look, my hand's broken and it doesn't hurt and I'm not taking drugs. All right, next. So the next part of my presentation was interesting edibles that you don't have to eat a gummy bear that's full of sugar and other bullshit, right? It can be anything, and it should be anything. Sugar is cancer eats sugar, right? So just gonna go through some funny shit that I made, you know, like hot sauce and with all the stuff. I mean, you're not supposed to drink the whole jar and get wasted. You're just supposed to put some hot sauce on and have your cannabinoid system be functioning as it should, right? So, next. Those were just like fun gifts for my friends, right? I did silly things like enter full-on alcoholic beverages in the High Times comp. Blue agave tincture. That's medicine, man. You make a good creme brulee with that, right? That's a sauce reduction for a dessert. Next. High Times is a place where I try to market myself to get to the table, to have a position where maybe I can be licensed or be a consultant or do something fun. But we did a hard cider and everybody was really concerned, like, oh no, alcohol and weed. Well, I mean, don't you guys drink a beer and smoke it? I mean, like, you know, some people do, some people don't, but it's all there like it should be. On point, you know, I'll try to fuck people up, just try to have a good time. Next. I made cherry cream soda, a hard cider. Next. Just different fun things. We won first place for the peppermint lemonade. It was incredibly yummy. That was a 1-to-1 option. Like, it's not Hawaii time yet, but it will be soon. Who knows when they'll let us do things of that nature, but damn refreshing, good buzz, right? Next. I have a friend who's the most kick-ass artisan cheesemaker that I know, Boss Mouse. We made this 1.5 year aged white cheddar, all cannabinoid. I'm going to show the test results. All the cannabinoids, CBN, CBG, THC. You know, because why not? Yeah. Why not ingest in a delightful and foodie way your cannabinoids? And there's the results. You know, a 3-ounce thing was like 25 milligrams of THC and a total of whatever, 100 with all of them. Yeah, 99. I went for 100. I got 99.2. Pretty fucking great, I thought, for a blank target. And it's not supposed to get you high. It's supposed to get your cannabinoid system functioning correctly, you know, as a maintenance program. This is one that we entered in the High Times Cup years ago. Another cheese that we did. Next. Bath bombs, you know, your cannabinoid receptors are right below the skin surface. So taking a nice hot bath, nice glass of champagne. That was the Death Star bath bomb that we did, that we got a little trophy for, but it was really fun. And I'm into Star Wars, so, you know. Because do or do not, there is no try.
Looks like Yoda.
That's the Death Star, but do or do not, there is no try, right? It's Yoda, that's Yoda's quote. So the reason for this was like, the people that make topicals and stuff, like one of my favorite things is like hemorrhoid cream, because I had a couple asshole surgeries and, you know, I have all kinds of problems, and a lot of guys do, and a lot of women and stuff, right? Like, I'm not embarrassed to talk about this shit because it's real. And my friend Rachel at Zilla's Edibles, Zilla's Topicals, Zilla's amazingness. Not only does your butt smell good, but it doesn't hurt anymore, you know? So, next. So here's some historic CBD effort stuff, because I'm trying to market myself, right? And hopefully set up shop and help consult or licensing or make a change in any little whatever way, like, right? So here's some backstory on me and my brand, Light Sky Farms. We got a World Cup, CBD concentrates, and the story on that, hold on, story on that's great. Sent the CBD out there, ended up spending 3 months in the attic in somebody's house in Beverly Hills because High Times is such a shit show. Hi, High Times. And it still got second place, which I'm real proud of, in the world, right? The best Go. Next. And then just some fun extract art, right? Because I love visual things are great, right? So next, I think, I can't remember what that was. I think maybe in Vegas or something, but next. That's Star Tonic, straight up gorgeous extract. That's what got second in the world. That's the tray. Next. These are some strains that I created, and we'll just cruise through those. Boom, boom, boom. Because marijuana is beautiful. It's a gorgeous flower, much like a rose or anything else. Yep. Yep. We've been in the strongest strains on earth for the CBD. You know, I'm here for a CBD conference, so, you know, 18.6. I won best for that, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm not interested in the winning part. That was marketing, but the point is if you're trying to get these compounds, you need the right genetics to grow and make them yourself, or, you know, whatever. Next. Next. A bunch of like best stuff. Next. Oh, Instagram just deleted this picture. That's all CBD medicinal stuff, but it looks like somebody's selling drugs, but I'm not, you know what I'm selling is hope. So next. So after all of that, I helped Terry and his wife because the medical system depleted their funds, and we, my fiance here, we supported them monetarily and with all the meds and hope and dreams, and I think we all supported each other. So that story's over. And then, like, on the cover of the thing, they said that, you know, I was an ex-pro skateboarder, snowboarder, and, you know, I've had a lot of injuries and whatnot and got addicted to opiates. I'm 52, so back in the day when I was a young kid like this guy, fucking rad, you know, they give you whatever you wanted, and you got high. So cannabis helped me in a way that it didn't before get off of opiates, because you can't sustain that lifestyle, right? You're gonna, fucking liver's gonna die, your kidneys. Also, you're a grumpy bitch because you just don't want anybody to interfere with your high, you know? So I got off of that. So I wanted to address that because of the bio that they put on my speaking thing here. That kid broke so many bones, right? I'm still dealing with it today because of pins and, you know, screws and shit in my body. Next. And now my brand that I created, Light Sky Farms, is a metric legal thing in Michigan, and I want to go national, worldwide. I want to help people. I want to consult. I want to use this effort, these trophies and shit, as proof that, like, we don't fuck around and we throw down. And I guess that's what I have to say. Any questions? Yes, please.
The cannabinoids that you use for your friends reducing that melanoma, which cannabinoids did you use, and what method of extraction did you use for those cannabinoids?
So I literally bred and created strains because I wanted the entourage effect. And 1-to-1 was kind of the back in that day, that was kind of the goal, right? So
Right.
1-to-1, like I was creating, I bred and created strains to extract, right, for this guy, and I was going for 1-to-1, but
1-to-1 of what?
CBD,
What do you
CBG,
have on
CBD and THC.
CBD and THC.
But also, I wanted to get higher amounts of CBG, so I had the old Girl Scout cookie strain, which had 3%. So that's involved in some of the flowers that you saw there. And this is, what is this, 4 or 5 years ago? It was before I had access to like isolates and stuff where I could try to add more things to it. But we did create a really broad spectrum, and I also was in the effort to breed those strains, I was breeding in other like fruit forward terpene profile type of strains along with, so my agenda was to get as much diversification in the extractions as possible out of the flowers that were intended for his effort, right? And at the same time, I could take many different things and combine them together to get as much entourage effect, as much broad spectrum as possible, and keep terpene profiles intact through my extraction method. And my extraction method was BHO. So a lot of people will be like, well, if you do BHO, which is amazing right out the gate, right? Like you're negative 40 or 60 Celsius, everything is intact. But then when you distill it, because I'm a distillation, that's what I did, was distillation. I did it different. Like many of my high times trophies that you saw on that guy's back, which is me, were distillate in a concentrate category. And I did
I'm
it.
an old school person.
I'm explaining it.
Okay.
So you put your weed in a tube, you put your solvent through your tube, whatever your solvent is, right? Could be alcohol, could be butane, propane, whatever, right? So then what you have is this selective extraction, and why I chose those instead of like Rick Simpson oil or something like that was because it's selective, and all I wanted was the terpene probes and the cannabinoid profiles. So once I put this solvent through my, the word biomass is like a dirty word, right? Like through my kind bud, and I get my extract, and then I'm going to distill that. And so you heat that under vacuum in a little still. It's a lab process, and most people like ruin it in that process. But because when I was creating my process, which is most people are using now, I saw that they were ruining it like most vodka makers would, or whiskey guys, or in a still, right? Like only really high quality, fine stuff has like an eau de vie, tastes like a pear.
Not to cut you off, I do understand modern methods of extraction.
Yes.
My concern is with butane hash oil is the residual.
Well, there isn't any. So all these things have zero residual. Zero, because I'm distilling all that out, right?
Okay.
This isn't a raw. This isn't a raw BHO. This is an activated edible. So the dabs and whatnot, right? So in a vacuum oven and things of that nature, you can get down to like, I've gotten down to 0 parts per million, no problem, because I'm a very caring individual and I take my time and stuff. But at 35 parts per million, I mean, we're breathing that right now.
That's true.
Right? You light your bowl with a lighter, you're breathing 200 parts per million, I promise, because I know, because I lab tested that shit. You Zippo lighter, you know what I mean? So if you just, but the problem with distillation is that's a dirty name because it's associated with garbage, right? But if you're careful and you're doing it as an artisan, like I did with Terry, you can maintain all the terpene profiles. You can maintain the integrity. You can get rid of all the
Impurities?
I'm going to say solvents, whatever solvent it is, whether it's ISO, food grade alcohol, propane, butane, you know, all these different solvents. You can do that, and you can do that like carelessly, or you can do it with like really intent to create something meaningful. So that's what I did. That's why I'm here, right? Because it was a little different than the rest of the guys were doing it. And I understand your concern, because I was concerned. I don't want to smoke that shit.
So, and you say you're genetically connected, so are you?
We all are.
The cultivars that you use for your friends specifically, can you tell us which ones they were? Like, I mean, what you
Yeah, and it's on the record too. Cosmic Jumper Cables, which he named, we got 3 trophies for in 3 different categories. Moose Cookie, Entourage. I created the Entourage strain, and that Entourage is 33%, and it isn't.
32% THC?
No.
What?
Broad spectrum.
Okay,
So it's CBD, CBG, CBN, THC, THCV, and things that we don't even know because they haven't been able to quantify labs to actually, now that it's just becoming something that we can do, like, you know, we're going to know a lot more about these compounds, you know, I hope, and hopefully Pfizer and the rest of these people, you know, don't wreck it for us, but they will. Yeah, I brought like what Pfizer's pills will look like. CBD pill. There's exactly 12 milligrams CBN. I mean, I made these, but these ones are 12, but they have all the Ayurvedic healing herbs and stuff, right? And these kind of compounds, you know, all drugs look the same, right? Because they're all crystalline formations. Everything's a crystalline formation. You are, these chairs, everything except for alcohol. Alcohol is a disruptor and it's a blob. I think the alcohol came from yeast from space, and that's why that is a controlling, divisive motherfucker. And I'm in the alcohol industry, so.
Do you have any of those seeds available?
Yes. Yes.
You have a light sky farm
Yes.
table?
Yes.
I'll be out there.
I'm gonna go set up after this no-show situation. Hey, I'm not sorry. You know what? I got one person to listen, and you're gonna shout it out to hopefully 3 million.
And I get my word, didn't I?
Hey, I hope it was meaningful and worth your while, babe.
It's informative. I'll come back and talk to you when you set up, because I'm networking right now.
Yeah, man. You find somebody else who'll melt a lymphoma off the side of somebody's head who was given a death sentence. Listen to them too.
Well, actually, I do work with Will.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Could you once again go over the reason why you came to Hawaii to this community?
Yeah, the reason I came here, what I'm hoping to do is network. You know, I would love to consult, get something meaningful in this emerging market in Hawaii. A licensing deal, who knows? You know, who knows what could come of this? I have already had a lot of meaningful conversations in those directions. Also, Hawaii, fruit, fish. I mean, I have kids. Like, I would love to be able to spend a lot more time here. Everybody is kind, smiley. The vibration here is amazing, and I came here for opportunity both ways, I hope, you know? Yeah, thank you. Yes, sir.
I know I kind of walked in late.
No, you're good.
You might have gone over this, but are your cups mainly CBD?
Yes.
But you do have some THC
Yes.
breeds that.
I have a bunch of THC. I have 6 vape cart cups in a row, Midwest, Michigan, THC. I have THC concentrate, topical, edible. But a lot of it at the beginning, because it was a caregiver situation in Michigan, was I was focusing on, you know, especially because of Terry's story. Did you see Terry's story? Back up. Let's. I mean, you're here, so let's back up to Terry's story really quick. It will take a second. And I was trying to do like one-to-one stuff for Entourage Effect, you know?
Yeah.
All right, go. So Terry had lymphoma, and they said, go home and die. And we made strains for him and extractions for him, supported him. She was there watching me cry. Go, go, go. Yeah, just run through it. And he died cancer-free, except for he died because of malpractice. These are some of the things that I made for him. He was eating like 1,000 milligrams a day.
And this is all extracted.
Yeah, that was BHO extracted and then distilled. But distilled in a meaningful way, not like liters of fucking garbage, you know, like.
Like through the short path.
Yeah, short path.
Yeah.
But short path in a way that is like preserves the terp content. I did it when I started. I did it a lot different. And that's why I got where I am today. And a lot of people are doing the same methods, and I'm glad to raise the bar. You know,
Yeah.
there's trash distillation, and there's just like pop up or some high end, you know, vodka, right?
Have you ever considered like creating a seed bank with all your seeds?
I brought seeds.
You what?
I brought seeds.
Yeah. But like, as far as like to sell, like in the online or local market?
Yeah. I've definitely done a lot of that. I brought seeds, and I've been selling them and giving them away. Anything CBD related, I give away. My CBD seeds that I brought are 19% plus. You know, so if somebody's what they're looking for is anti-inflammatory or CBD-based stuff, I mean, I'll give them that. My THC seeds are heady as fuck, like from the best in the world cuts and years and years and years of, you know, breeding. So if you're down, because you sat through this empty house, you get whatever seeds you want.
I remember I left my coffee at the table.
Oh yeah. I don't do a ton of seed work, man, because I was doing some other stuff, but maybe I will. I don't know, you know.
Yeah. Well,
I have done so much seed stuff and been ripped off so many times by fuckers. It kind of has a bad taste in my mouth.
as far as like
Partnerships and shit, you know. It was, you know, we're doing our angle, and dealing with seeds is just another job, you know.
well, I like to talk to you a little bit more.
Yeah, we're gonna be right back at the table. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, sure. It's literally why I came.
Appreciate that, man.